guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. I am so glad you're here, you guys. After watching that awful documentary, if you can call it that, Lie Fest, whatever it was that I watched on Hulu, I thought I'd jump over on Twitter and, I don't know, take a look at how people are reacting to it. And believe me, spoiler alert, it doesn't disappoint. I'm excited to show you. I'm excited to get into this. I wanted to first point out, do you see what's trending? William and Catherine. People are excited for spring coming up and hopefully, as you know, when she's ready, soon return of Catherine, Princess of Wales. And also Harry's a Liar is trending, as well as Refund Spare. So we'll get into all that. There was stuff about Invictus trending earlier. I'm excited to talk about all of this with you. I'm Jen. Honk honk, everyone. Thanks for being here. All right. I have to give credit because they inspired the thumbnail for this one. I thought this was such a funny point. So J.E. May / Duchess Marmalade says less popular than Brussels sprouts, disliked by 28% of Americans and disliked by 31% of Americans. Larry the Manor also retweeted saying, imagine being disliked more than Brussels sprouts. Well, I have a funny thing for you. When I was about to make this thumbnail, I just thought I'd do some Googling. Found some other funny stats. You ready? So 31% of Americans, according to this new poll, dislike Meghan Markle. I actually think it's probably higher than that, but it's just a sample group that they polled. Where's my poll? I'll answer it. Anyway, so according to this, I jumped on Google and I wanted to see Americans' least favorite veggies. So turnips, 27%, beets, 26%, radish, 23%, Brussels sprouts listed at 21%. So she's wildly unpopular in comparison to all of these things. Personally, I love Brussels sprouts, but I do hate beets. So it is funny to me to think in that context. I hate beets. If I smell a beet, it grosses me out. So beets, 26% of Americans can't stand beets, but 31% can't stand Meghan. Okay, I am going to move on. That just struck me really funny. Thank you for sharing this. All right, this was shared by Mystified, friend of the channel. I thought this was such an interesting point. Here we go. Nobody truly believes that the Prince of Wales is jealous of Invictus Games. Why would he be? He and his wife, the Princess of Wales, have personally donated more money than Harry and Megalomaniac have. And Harry forgot to mention the amount of money he and his wife grift off the veterans of Invictus Games for Meghan's clothes, private jets, accommodations, etc., which is why the Invictus Games is already in the hole financially, even after Canada's government just donated $30 million. Did you know that? I did. It's awful. Prince William is not jealous of any of Harry's grifts. He's too busy being an actual humanitarian and philanthropist. Well said, Mystified. Exactly what I covered when I recapped that documentary. It's such garbage. Robert Jobson throwing out this accusation that Prince of Wales is somehow jealous. Just let that sink in, of anything that Harry's involved with. Okay, and then we have this one shared by Royal Gossip, kind of saying similar. I just think it bears repeating and discussing. Here we go. Royal Gossip shared this and says, Robert Jobson is spouting nonsense. Prince William donated $1.11 million to the Invictus Games Foundation in 2020, which was after Megxit. He wasn't jealous. He supported Harry's charity. Refund Spare, Harry is a lying traitor. Prince Harry is a traitor. And it's not Harry's charity. I know. He's just, he's one of the ones involved in it, but he didn't. It wasn't his thing. We know that. But I get what they're saying, and I think that's such a good point. To call William jealous after he gave his settlement money to Invictus. Did Harry do anything like that? No. Instead, he's billing Invictus for things like outfits and, I don't know, private jets. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this was shared by Kylier, and it says, memes by Kai, says, Prince Harry's mission, find the lowest level and go lower. I am a wanker. That so perfectly sums him up. He really is. And he came across so awful on this thing. And what's funny is he actually came off worse than Meghan, because for once, Meghan, I guess she said probably a lot and was edited out, but we barely heard from Meghan. So this wanker kept talking and showing off, well, what a wanker he is. And then we have this one, which is still making me laugh, and it's by, let's see, at Good Boy Goo 2. Harry needs to worry about his own kids. Keep my children's name out your mouth. So good, of course, referring back to the Chris Rock and Will Smith of it all. This one really struck me funny. Okay, I'm not going to try to pronounce this name, but this person shared, by the way, the Hulu doco refers to has-beens kids as Prince and Princess. But our future King George is just George. Our future Princess Royal is just Charlotte. And you guessed it, Louis is just Louis. Will the royal kids please stand up? Will the real royal kids please stand up? Okay. Yes, this is something I got tons of comments on. I totally forgot to mention. I talked about how Harry talked about the kids, but I didn't even talk about that. In the documentary, he refers to his own kids with titles and then refers to William's kids. He shouldn't be referring to the Wales children at all, but purposely, it seems, without their titles. I don't know if it's just a dig on William and Catherine, if it's just to demean their position. Somebody so clever, I wish I had you in front of me, put in my comments that they believe he did it because we all have to remember that his kids have titles. We don't have to remember with, the Wales children. So I thought that was such a good point. Thank you. You know who you are. Thank you for posting that. Great. This was shared by Queen Gertie, and it says, sorry, Rat. I do like you better. Showing off Templeton, as I've called him in the past, Harry's rat-like features. And normally I'd be like, well, that's kind of mean. But no, he opened the door to talking about physical things because he went after Prince William and called him alarmingly bald. So I can call Harry alarmingly like a rat. The British prince says in regard to, again, that documentary, the faux documentary, if you will, nothing new, the same lies and regurgitated propaganda. He said he loves his family, but attacked his dad and brother. He hasn't changed and proves why he can't be trusted. Exactly this. His dad has cancer, and in his doc, he said it's King Charles's fault that he doesn't see his kids. So in case you missed my recap, I do encourage you to go back and watch it. But in case you missed it, yep, that's the thing that happened. I believe it was Jobson that points it out, but it could have been the other report. I can't even remember at this point. But one of the people talking through this documentary says basically it's a shame that Charles hasn't made more. I think it was Jobson. It's a shame that Charles hasn't made more of an effort. King Charles hasn't made more of an effort to reach out to the children, to see the grandchildren. I mean, I lost my mind when I recap that. It has such BS. And yeah, no, it stands. It's such BS. That is such a crappy thing to say. Harry could have brought those children with him when he went for his 32nd visit. Harry is a selfish prick. His wife is the same. Let's keep going. Right? Shout out to Taz. According to Taz, speculating, much like I did in my recap of the thing, it can't be good that he's not selling this thing to Netflix. The other side of this is I wondered, is Netflix just like, no, we're good? Like the last Invictus thing that they did. Oh my gosh, I covered that one too. That was rough. It flopped, terribly flopped, to the point where I showed where IMDb wouldn't even let people post below a score of an 8. And it sounds like there was a ton of them coming in. They were, allegedly hiding those awful reviews. And I tried to look for reviews on this one, but where this is more of an interview, there doesn't seem to be a place to be able to leave reviews because I really wanted to read through those and see what people are saying. But I think this gives us a pretty good taste of what people are saying. Right, this was posted by Dolly's Car Park. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Limonada, Moon Bumps, Rebrands, Relaunch, Part-Time Royal, not Royal. I'm actually working on that rebrand video, by the way, so this is all just way too real for me. Part-Time Royal, not Royal, Climate, Jets, Exaggerated Memoir, Security need not apply. And that just struck me particularly funny. And I've always loved this picture of King Charles and Her Majesty the late Queen. I love it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And yet, again, just like that thou does protest too much, they scream louder kind of thing. Well, they seem to do that with their security too. The less in danger they seem to be, the more security they bring. Like I go back to like the Kevin Costner party. What do you think's going to happen to you there that you need security? Um, Gosh, the variety party that Meghan went to. Why are they going to pick you to do something too versus like, an actual celebrity that's there? The whole thing's so ridiculous. All right, we got this one coming out of Royal News Network. We got Brittany saying Meghan Markle has apparently learned nothing from the abysmal failure of archetypes, as her new podcast sounds as boring and cringy as her last. Reports indicate she's going to share her own stories and reflections of her life, as if her podcast wasn't already, and then it cuts off, but basically already all about herself. Yeah, nothing new here. I gotta give, again, St. Meghan Markle, the Reddit group, credit, because they had the funniest thing that was like, yeah, she says on this new one she won't be bringing in celebrity guests, but that's probably because no celebrity would dare want to go on this thing. She'll just, you know what I mean? Like, what friends are left? Who in their right mind would go on this thing, especially even if you're indifferent to Harry and Meghan. After hearing the stories of how the last guests were treated, how she couldn't be bothered to interview somebody she deemed less, I don't know, desirable or whatever it was. And it was the producers doing all the work behind the scenes. I find that so funny. That many producers still a flop. Couldn't be bothered to work more than an hour a week. I came across this meme as well that just spoke to my soul. Here we go. Laird of the Manor shared this, and it says, world, when you're trying to convince Harry that he married you can see the word there. Too funny. Okay, so the other thing trending, of course, is #refundspare. So this person points out, as DC points out, he said on the Colbert interview when he was promoting his novel that you've heard their side of the story, but this is straight from me and will be historical truth about my life, or words to that effect. I just thought that was an interesting point. How many times do we hear that? Like, this is my turn. They were willing to lie for my brother, but not tell the truth for me, that sort of thing. And now it's coming out. He's claiming that he lied about the substance use to sell books. It's trying to cover his butt in this visa thing. So he doesn't know the truth. I would never look to Harry and Meghan to tell any version of any kind of truth. They don't even know what that word means. So I just think this is interesting. I love that this is trending. Now there's talk of some sort of class action suit potentially. Right now it's just hearsay, but I'm here for it, and I hope that is the case. Here's another one where they're showing the trending #refundspare. It says, I think Penguin Random should refund Spare to anyone who has missold the book as nonfiction when every bit of his content is now in doubt. I think it was already in doubt, but I get what you're saying, and is clearly fiction. Yes, refund Spare is a great hashtag. Here's an image of refund Spare trending. We have the Harkle Bunyan pointing out Harry's own wording here on the description of Spare, calling it an unflinching honesty. What the actual blank. Yeah, exactly. It's just over and over told as his honest version of events. You just can't count on him for honesty. I'd never put that word associated with either of them. But I do keep thinking about this refund Spare. It would never happen. But let's just play hypothetical that it was some sort of class action and Harry had to return whatever profits he made on that thing. I don't believe the numbers that were floating around at the time. I think a lot of their numbers, including the Netflix ones, are hyperinflated for clicks. But regardless, whatever that figure is, if he had to return that, how funny would that be? And how much do you want to be a fly on the wall when he tells Meghan? Like, I do. Can you imagine? She could just go through the roof and it'd be hilarious. You guys, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing these. I've said before, it's just a fun way to talk about reactions to things and get a bunch of different news stories in one place like that. So these are some of my favorite videos to do. I love reading your reactions to them. So please leave me comments I love going through those. If you don't know what to say, just honk at me. That always works too. Thank you guys so much for being here, for watching and supporting. The response to my recap of the documentary itself was amazing. I can't thank you enough, everybody that watched it and commented on it. Even if you're going to go back and watch after this, I want you to know how much that truly does mean to me. Share it, spread it around. I want people to see it. I made shorts out of that thing. I'm really trying to get that one to take off. So thank you to everybody who's helped me in that. Thank you to everybody who's here watching my videos. And I just appreciate you all so much. I truly do. Lots of exciting stuff coming out. So check back lots. And I can't wait to cover more things like this. I hope you have the best day. I hope Harry and Meghan have to give back all of that money, because that'd just be so funny. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.